What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Right Side, and welcome to another episode of The Right Report. Today, we're going to talk about the VP debate that happened on Tuesday night. So, for some pre-debate context, VP debates aren't really focused on or paid attention to largely. Historically, they don't have a lot of weight or impact. You can really largely say that about a lot of vice presidents in their role, serving as the, partner on the ticket. VPs rarely maybe help, but they can surely hurt. And going into it, I guess you could say that in a sense, Vance had a lot of proving to do. A lot of Republicans, I can tell you, I can tell you that a lot of Republicans didn't like J.D. Vance as VP. A lot of people wanted someone like Glenn Youngkin going in, so there was that kind of an element going in where certain Republicans still voted for Trump, but were very, hesitant, very unsure about J.D. Vance as a VP selection. But going in for something like a VP debate, only those who really follow politics frequently tend to care or tend to watch, let alone care. Maybe some truly undecided voters. The bottom line is that there weren't a lot of expectations going in. I had a really good idea of what to expect from Vance. I'd watched him a lot, watched a lot of his, speaking interviews, a lot of podcasts that he had been on. Was a decent fan of his going into it, and I kind of knew how well he was going to do. But a lot of people really doubted Vance. And so this VP debate was probably the most important VP debate going back a couple of years or cycles, I think. With how close his election is, Vance had a really good opportunity to kind of prove himself to be the voice of reason on the ticket, to be the cooler head on the ticket, the more collected head on the ticket. So how did the debate go? Well, Vance, without a shadow of a doubt, proved himself. Vance is the future of the Republican Party. When you look at Vance and you watch him on interviews, you listen to him speak, you read his book, that is the future of the right. If Trump wins, Vance is pretty much guaranteed to be the nominee in 2028. I know a lot of people are, humming about Vivek running in 28, and trust me, I'm right there with you. I love the guy. But I think that Vivek is actually leaning far more towards running for governor of Ohio, and I think he'd win in a landslide there. So I think that Vance being the future Republican Party is pretty much concrete now. I mean, I haven't seen someone articulate the conservative position on a national stage as well as Vance did, going back decades. Maybe since Ronald Reagan did someone have the ability to speak conservative ideas on a national stage as well as Vance did. I mean, he was sharp, quick, articulate. He didn't speak like a Yale graduate. He spoke like an average person, but he was poised. He knew what he was going to say. And he showed, probably most of all, the most class of any Republican politician, maybe going back to someone like Mitt Romney. I would even say he was probably more classy than even George Bush. But Vance always addressed the moderators by their name, very politely. And he always looked for areas of kind of common ground with Walz where he could sympathize, or he could be like, you know what, like when they were talking about the shootings and he said that, I didn't know your son went through a shooting. I'm really sorry about that. Those types of moments where, I think he knew that Walz was kind of reeling against the ropes and didn't really know what he was doing. And so he kind of did that to make Walz feel like he was kind of giving him like a life jacket, lifesaver type of thing, when instead I think the whole thing was just meant to make Vance look more unifying. And I think it did just that. Vance was very, very smart, very smart. Vance is a truly gifted speaker. The way he's able to take questions and really kind of mold them into, they would ask him a question and he would go, the first thing he would do is go based off, he would answer the question based on why he may think that the question is unfair or what the question is not really encapsulating, but then he always, without fail, went back to the core of the question. That was very good. That was perfect. I hadn't seen a Republican do that in a very, 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 maybe ever. Back, have their little rant in the beginning of the question, but then come back later on and finish a job. Very well done by Vance. Walz, on the other hand, self-admitted weak debater. He looked the part. For the first 30 minutes to an hour, Walz looked like a deer in headlights. He looked like he bit off more than he could chew. He felt like he was in the deep end with the sharks. And in a way, I kind of felt bad for him because he looked like he was scared. Like he was really anxious about the debate going up against Vance. Vance, out of the starting gate, he was applying pressure. And he did not let up. It was beautiful. He also didn't let the moderators get away with the biased fact-checking when it came to the Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio. This is one thing that Trump tries to do, but Trump's Trump, so he doesn't do it as savvy as Vance does, where Vance very politely says, I can't let this go like that. I can't let it go like that. And he kept on going until the moderator submitted and they let him have it. Trump would have been a lot more crass and the cut would have been a lot less clean. And that's what kind of hurts people when they watch it and they go, man, he's really kind of, not clean, and he's just so brash. Whereas Vance did it very politely, very cleanly, classy. It was very impressive to watch. And when he was bringing out the app and the legal status thing, I was stunned. I was floored. I was like, wow, I had never seen a Republican politician do that, and Vance did it. Vance was very impressive in that. I think that watching Vance, him and Trump are very similar when they debate. They actually try and do almost the same exact things. The difference is that Vance is just much better. He framed himself, I think, perfectly as the cooler and more collected part of the ticket, which is amazing because the media tries to posit him as the extreme one on the ticket, taking back his older, words and comments about things. They try and kind of create a caricature of him, and there's no way you go out of that debate thinking that he is still that guy, because he didn't show an ounce of extremism. He sounded very poised and level-headed and rational and logical, empathetic. I think he had the single best answer on abortion from a Republican politician in recent memory. I think when he brought up the fact that the Republicans need to win back people's trust on the issue of abortion, I thought that was beautifully candid and perfectly worded. I think he's 100% right when it comes to that. Another thing that he did that I was absolutely so surprised and floored that he was able to do it was somehow framing Drill Baby Drill, a pro-oil drilling policy, as a climate change initiative by taking the green lobby and kind of putting them in a knot themselves. Vance was going on about how if you really care about the climate, you would know that United States energy, American energy, the production of it is the cleanest in the world. So if you really wanted to make sure that we make clean energy, then you'd want to stop offshoring oil production from Saudi Arabia and China and Russia and start being self-dependent on energy here, which is a beautiful way to frame the issue. As someone who's a big advocate for nuclear energy, I was kind of mildly disappointed that he didn't bring up nuclear energy. But I also know that, or understand, people, when they hear the word nuclear and energy, get really nervous and uptight because of the recent disasters that you get taught about in history class. But those who, really know, nuclear energy isn't like that anymore. It's not that big of an issue. It's safer, cleaner, more efficient, more productive, more effective, the whole 9 yards. But It's something. He did bring up the fact that it takes 25 years because of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission's regulations to build a new one from scratch. So he did bring that up. Liked that a lot. And the closing statement, I thought was really good. I think he ended the night by pleading with voters to go to the ballot box with their wallets, which is exactly what you should do. I've always thought and told my friends that, you know, they try and make this election about abortion and about democracy and these big overhead, broad philosophical concepts of issues. And I just don't think people buy it. I really don't. I really don't think that there are enough voters out there in the country who will go to the ballot box in November and think and not think, gas is more expensive, rent is more expensive, energy, electricity is more expensive, gas. If you have gas-powered things, it's more expensive. Interest rates are way too high. The grocery bill is unbelievable. I'm really struggling in this economy. And if you're in those towns that have the migrants in them, that's over your shoulder as well. I don't think that there are people in the country who think that and go, you know what? Yeah, groceries may be high and gas might be high and I may be struggling to make do week to week. But Trump is going to make people register pregnancies with the state. What? That's unbelievable. I refuse to believe that there are people who will go into that ballot box and not remember the economy under Trump and think, you know what? They will say whatever they want about his issue on abortion, about the democracy, whatever. People don't care about that. At least not enough people care about that. What they care about at the end of the day is being able to make ends meet, buy affordable groceries, buy a home, start a family. That's what they care about. That's what they know Donald Trump is going to bring because he did it before. He had probably the greatest American economy for his first 3 years. And then COVID happened. And everyone kind of forgot about it. Or at least the media tried to memory hole it from everyone's minds. But people remember it. People remember when gas was under $2 a gallon. They remember when a carton of eggs wasn't $10. That wasn't in the distant past. It was 4 or 5 years ago. I think that when people go into the ballot box, Vance is right. They will go with their wallets, and that's why Trump will win. Walz was caught in the ropes multiple times on China, Tiananmen Square, on guns. I always love hearing, someone say like, "Oh, I own a hunting rifle, so I'm not anti-Second Amendment," when that's the exact same thing as saying I have a black friend, so I'm not racist. It's really funny. When it comes to the abortion law in Minnesota, he was just objectively wrong on that. But the moderators didn't step in rightfully because they weren't supposed to fact check until they fact checked on the Springfield migrants, Haitian migrants, and they were caught up on that. But I don't know if Vance could have looked better. I mean, if people really watch the debate, there's no way you see Walz as better than Vance. You have to at least in some way be impressed by Vance. All the news networks, CNN, MSNBC, they called him slick. They were panicking because of Walz's poor performance. So Walz said he was a bad debater, and it showed. A lot of people are very surprised by Vance. They're all in on Vance now. And so if Trump doesn't win, we'll see an open primary in the Republican Party in 2028, and it'll be very interesting to see who runs for the ticket in 2028. It's kind of hard not to see Vance having the airway strip, with the momentum. But when it comes to the debate, Vance won, hands down, no question about it. And quite frankly, to those who, where this debate really mattered, I think he may have just won Donald Trump the election. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you'd like button. If If you'd like to support and help the channel grow, please subscribe or ring the bell to stay updated with all my uploads. Finally, whether you agree or disagree, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I look forward to engaging with you guys in respectful and thoughtful discussions. With that said, I'll see you guys next video. See ya.